I just wanna see the light.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. Today we wrap up our time here in Africa. We're playing a Nedbank Cup final and it's a Pretoria derby between us, SuperSport United, and the Mamelodi Sundowns. So if you're looking forward to that, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you're new around here, want to keep up to date with this Hexagon Challenge, also hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. We've had a few games since yesterday's episode, which was the African Champions League final. If you missed it, I'll leave a link in the top right corner. I suggest you watch that first, but after today's game, this is the last episode, as I said, in South Africa. We'll wrap up the season. Got a few more premiership games after this final, and then we'll come back with an end of season review and resign from the job, because we did win that Champions League final 3-0 over Bloemfontein Celtic. So we have completed what we need to here in South Africa. We'll just finish off the season and try and get a quadruple, having already also wrapped up the Telkom knockout and the Premiership as well. But we'll catch you guys up on the one game that we've played since you were last here. Of course, we'd already won the league, so not a lot riding on this game, but we picked up a nice 3-0 win against Royal AM with the rotation team at home. Our backup left winger, Zacharias Mamadei, who was very close to overtaking Boyson in the first team anyway, was able to open the scoring. A good ball put in for him there by Gordinho, and we were 1-0 up at the 26-minute mark, and then only a few minutes later, Gordinho on the ball again finds Mamadei in some nice space down the left-hand side, just able to fire one past the goalkeeper, who goes to ground for some reason into the top netting, and we were 2-0 up at halftime. And then late in the second half, with 12 minutes to go, it was Graham Pulser off the bench outside the box, had a little bit of an injury too, but fires one into the top left corner, so it can't have been too bad. And we pick up a pretty comprehensive 3-0 win. You look at the stats, and we were pretty clinical with our chances and didn't allow them to get too many shots off. So a good win for the rotation team, giving the first team a bit of a freshen up since the Champions League final coming into this game. So we don't have too many issues in terms of selection-wise going into today's game. We've got Fleurs and Butsaka out through suspension and injury respectively, but they both wouldn't have been in the first team plans anyway. And they've got Mauricio Burgos out, who I think is a half decent player, so they might be missing one of their first team choice players. But on the whole, both teams go into this derby final in pretty good nick. Before we do go into this game, I will show you guys the finance screen, because it turns out it probably wasn't a bad time to be leaving this club anyway. We would have had a $6.5 million Euro budget to work with next season anyway, but in terms of the overall balance, these guys are in a little bit of trouble. So we probably won the Champions League at a nice time for them. They've already got the money that came from that. It was about $2 million. You would have seen that at the end of yesterday's episode, but they're not in a good way, this club. I'm not sure if it's to do with staff or something else, but financially they're in a little bit of bother. So we might be leaving these guys at the right time, especially considering they have to replace the likes of Rashad Malloy in the off season. But yeah, something I did notice pop up in my inbox about the overall balance of the club and the general financial state, and that surprised me a bit, because we've been working within the wage budget and the transfer budget here this season, but somehow it's blown out to a €5 million deficit. So not great stuff from the club financially, but we don't have to worry about that anymore, because we are going to be gone after the next 3 days, and we'll come back shortly for this game from the Mbombala Stadium, the Nedbank Cup final, the Pretoria derby, to round out our time on camera here at SuperSport United, and it's against the Mamelodi Sundowns. So here are the team sheets for this Nedbank Cup final. We are going with more or less the same team that we went for in yesterday's CAF Champions League final. We have bought William Napo in for Kubeka, though, as I said in yesterday's episode, he's been a little bit up and down of late, and we can bring Lapo in now because he wasn't able to be registered for that Champions League, so we made that change. Otherwise, though, we are at full strength, the same squad as yesterday. And in terms of the Mamelodi Sundowns, just that one injury that they had to deal with, but otherwise, they've still got some good players, the likes of Reed, who scored a few goals against us when we lost to them when we last took them on in the league, so he's a dangerous player. And they've got a fair bit of quality just scattered amongst that team. So definitely a worthy opposition for us here, but hopefully we can get some revenge on them for the last time we played them and pick up our 4th trophy of the season here at SuperSport United. And we are in our home uniform yet again for a final, the blue with a little bit of the red top, and it's Mamelodi Sundowns again in the sort of Brazilian outfit, the yellow top with the blue shorts and white socks. They will be kicking off playing left to right as the rain starts to pelt down, so it's going to be a wet final. We hoof a ball long, trying to find Malangu early. We'll get that just inside the box, makes his way outside. It puts a ball in for Boyson, and he hits the bar. That would have been a great opener for us, but it remains 0-0 after a minute. 12 minutes gone here. Mamelodi do have a throw-in, and they will keep possession from it. And Poto just outside the box. Mudau puts a ball in. Mofokeng heads it away, but that's straight to a Mamelodi player in a lot of space. Luckily, we clear the cross that came from that in. That was a little bit sloppy from Mofokeng, I believe, but luckily it didn't amount to anything. We head that back to Gunga, and it is still 0-0 after 13 minutes, but we might be able to get another chance going here. Create a really good one early. Boyson hitting the bar, so that could have been a great start for us, but it wasn't to be, and we look to build again. Boyson, there he is on the ball now, making his way in field, driving forward towards the right-hand side, gets a shot off and forces a good save there out of Motshawa, and Malangu tries to put a ball back into the mixer. It's blocked. We do get it in there to Nlapo on the edge of the box. Mofokeng over to Mokawena, tries to find Mahua. It's cleared away and still 0-0 after quarter of an hour. 28 minutes, a free kick to Mamelodi. Jack's on the end of it, and Gunga can't keep it out. And we are 1-0 down in the Nedbank Cup final. I have to remember what competition it was there for a minute. That's a bit poor from us. A far post header, that's usually what we do. Doesn't get picked up. Gunga can't keep it out, neither can the man at the far post. And we're 1-0 down after half an hour with Mamelodi's first shot of the game. And that is half time in this Nedbank Cup final. It has not been full of many highlights, and Mamelodi, to be fair to them, did get the upper hand after they scored that goal. You can see what the XG graph was showing up until they got that goal, and then they had a decent jump up afterwards. It took them a while to get to the races, but to be fair to them, they were clinical with their chances, and we had a little bit of bad luck early with Boyson hitting the woodwork, but other than that, we haven't created a lot. So the boys really need to step things up in the second half. I'm already looking at some substitutions because Walters and Kenny Mahua, which is very rare for the latter, but they're on 6.2 ratings, both of them. Pretty good consistent performance for us so far this season, but really not looking up for this game. So we might make some changes heading into the second half and hopefully an improved performance as we need to come back from a goal down to try and get our 4th bit of silverware for the season. So we will make those changes before we get into the second half. The players on 6.2s. Walters will come off, and I suppose we'll bring Kubeka on, a chance for him to get some redemption after we took him off in yesterday's Champions League final. And in terms of Kenny Mahua, I think Zacharias Mamade, even though I usually use him on the left wing, is the obvious option to come in for him. So we'll make those 2 changes and get into the second half where we're 1-0 down. 52 minutes gone. It's a throw for Mamelodi to start the second half. Highlight-wise, Malessa on the ball, and they might be looking for a cushion goal, and they will get it. Oh dear, and Cobble, that's a really nice ball. Somehow he was onside, just shook off the defenders. It was a nice header, good ball from Mudau. And yeah, that wasn't how we wanted to start off the second half. You can see from the throw-in, it's some pretty simple stuff. Malessa to Mudau, and you can see that it's a very nicely timed run from, and Cobble loses his defender. And just like that, we're 2-0 down after 50 minutes. Not going so well for us today. Okay, 60 minutes gone here, and Malangu's gone down below a 6.5. And we know that Gordinho has been pretty good for us when we've used the rotation team of late. So we're going to use our third and final sub at the hour mark, and it will be Percy Gordinho up front for Sakil Malangu. Been great for us this season. So a few of the players who usually perform very well for us are going to be taken off. We'll switch Nlapo around with Kubeka as well in that box-to-box role, but 2-0 at the hour mark. Hopefully we can get something going for the rest of the second half as Kubeka has a crack straight after getting on the field, but blasts it wide. Yeah, 2-0 down, need something quick. 70 minutes gone and we have a throw, and we need a goal quick if we're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been up to much the second half for us at the moment. Gordinho inside the box, holds the ball up, back to Olivares. Nlapo is a long shot, forces a save out of Motshawa, but it remains 2-0, though this highlight will continue as they boot it long, but we will get possession back. It's a pretty poor clearance. Dubé out to Boyson. Can we get back into this? Just gets past the defender inside the box. Over for Kubeka, has a shot, and the goalkeeper goes the wrong way. I say the wrong way. Went for the first shot, the deflection fell straight to Kubeka, and he had a simple tap in. Hopefully that gets Kubeka's form in the right direction, but that's exactly what we needed. We've got 19 minutes to try and equalise things. To be fair, the goalkeeper, I kind of blamed him with that first comment. There's not much he can do about that. The defender with the block, he got sold up the river, and it's 2-1 with 18 minutes to go. 73rd minute, and we now have a throw in. Boyson, Kubeka. Can we equalise at short notice? Olivares. Kubeka has come off the bench and given us a chance here, so that's good to see from him. And hopefully that improves his form for the rest of the season. As I see, he's been a bit up and down. That's a long ball. Mamelodi, Olivares, Lapo, back to Olivares in a bit of space. Mamelodi, as we just knocked the ball about in the final third. Olivares now in a bit of space, puts a ball in. Gordinho off the header, forces a good save out of Mloshkwa, and it's still 2-1 to Mamelodi. 77 minutes, and we have a corner. Can our set piece come up big for us? It is headed away by Mamelodi, and Jax. Oh, that's a slide tackle from Gordinho. That could have been dangerous as he is on a yellow, but we do get possession back. Lapo with a shot blocked. Look to hold up possession in this final third and get another attack going, as we're going to need to strike fairly soon. It feels like we don't want to be leaving this too late, as Diaz on the ball. Read out to Gossett, making his way forward. And he's just locked a heavy touch, and then Gunga, that looked very Unai Simon-like. That was a bit scary, but it does remain 2-1, although it is Mamelodi here with a throw-in. Kubeka puts his foot in, gets the ball back, or briefly, it is Mamelodi back on it, and that's not ideal. Okay, just as I talked him up, he has absolutely let us down. To be fair, he got the goal that got us back into it, and we can't make a sub anyway. I think what we're going to have to do here is do what we did in the game that we played before the Champions League final against Cape Town Spurs. We'll bring Oceania up into the normal midfield role. We won't go with a CDM, but really pushing it uphill now, 2-1 down with 10 men with 10 to go. 84th minute is a goal kick for Mamelodi. They should be seeing this out now. They've got a man advantage and a goal up. So, yeah, we're pushing uphill. Unfortunately, Kubeka got the equaliser, a goal that got us back into it. But yeah, he's also let us down quite massively there. But you never know. Against Cape Town Spurs the other week, we did pick up a 3-0 win with 10 men. I say 3-0, it was really 3-2. The game sort of glitched on us there. But Mamade is driving forward nicely for us there. Slide tackle, Gordinho. And we're back in this 2-2. Would you believe it? There we go. 85 minutes, and that was very lucky. A slide tackle on Mamade. He was driving forwards. It's a very good run from Mamade. You can see he's well inside his half. Makes his way forward. It's a interesting tackle, and Gordinho's just there to pick up the scraps. It's fallen very kindly for us, that. But we're back in this at 2-2 with 5 to go. 88th minute, Mamelodi looking to take it away from us with a late free kick, and it's just wide. It's getting tight. We might be going to extra time in this one. 2-2 at the 90-minute mark. And that is full time after 90 minutes. For the first time on camera in the save from memory, we are going to extra time. Somehow we've got ourselves back into that game. Kubeka gets a goal, then gets a red card. I think it's over after that stage, but Gordinho with a little bit of help from a Mamelodi defender with the slide tackle on Mamade. It fell beautifully for him, slotted away in the bottom right corner with 2 minutes to go in the 90, and we are taking this game to extra time. We are down to 10 men though, so we might have some tired bodies coming up soon. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to hang with these guys, but you look at the overall stats, we have looked the more threatening team, especially in that second half. That XG has gone up a heck of a lot more. So if we can keep playing like we did in the second half in this extra time period, even with 10 men, hopefully we can pick up this trophy, but we're certainly up against it. It is a very tense game, 2-2 as we start extra time. 93 minutes gone. We've just started this first half of extra time, and we do have a throw in. Boyson, long ball over the top. They cut it out, but Olivares will get onto this in a lot of space, and we need to make the most of position when we have it with 10 men here, because if Mamelodi get on the ball, they can run us around. Mamade back to Lapo. Long shot, it's in the back of the net. Oh, that's the start to extra time we wanted. That is it. Lapo gets the goal, and we are 3-2 up somehow in this game. We must have really fired these boys up at halftime. Mamade just lays this off. It's a little bit of a worm burner there from Lapo, but it finds the bottom right corner, and somehow we're 3-2 up in this game. And that was the only real highlight in that first half of extra time. We don't get the team talk for extra time at halftime, which I didn't know about, but we're 3-2 up. We've got a lot of red hearts. We can't make any substitutions though. Hopefully we can hold on for this win. It would be a heck of a win. Yeah, just hopefully we can keep doing what we're doing because it seems to be working ever since halftime. Yeah, win another trophy, 3-2 with only 15 minutes left in this game, hopefully. And we are kicking off this second half of extra time. Just hopefully we can hold on to the ball as long as we can. We will tell these guys to slow the tempo down fairly soon as well, I think. Just really take our time, although we play Gordinho through early. Here's a crack force, as I say about it. I'm not sure. Good early chance there for us to potentially wrap things up, but it does remain 3-2. 119 minutes gone. It's a goal kick, or sorry, not a goal kick, a free kick to Mamelodi. They give the ball away. Gordinho slots it in. We are going to win the Nedbank Cup. I really don't know how we've won this game. We've got multiple players on yellow cards. Kubicka got sent off. Somehow we ended up playing better with 10 men than 11. We've really turned this around since halftime. That is a really poor goal, free kick there from the goalkeeper. Doesn't really get back into position, and Gordinho makes the most of it. Slots it away, bottom right corner. And with a 2-goal cushion, with half a minute to go, somehow we are going to win the Nedbank Cup after being 2-0 down around the 70-minute mark. That is a heck of a performance, an absolutely insane game this one was. That's up there with game of the series. And now Gordinho on the ball. We just look to hold the ball. We did tell the boys to play a lower tempo just after the second half of this extra time. Once we had that goal advantage, Napo holds the ball up. Olivares, Gordinho tries to hit that down for Mamade. We just hold things up. Hopefully the referee blows this up soon because we are on very tired legs. The ball rolls out and they might have a throw in here. Hopefully not. And it's all over. We pick up the Nedbank Cup. That is an insane win. I don't know how the boys have done that. Kubicka got a goal back for us, got it to 2-1, and then he got red card, and I thought that was it. That was the game. But somehow we've picked up a 4-2 win after extra time and picked up the Nedbank Cup. And there is the trophy lift, our fourth trophy here at SuperSport United. And we will be resigning with 4 trophies yet again in the club, which is nice to be able to say. Absolutely insane game, that one. But in the end, we got the job done through some very dramatic circumstances, red cards and all sorts, some pretty average performances from some of our frontline players. But in the end, we get the job done and make it 4 for the season. So off the back of that, we'll come back shortly. I'll play the rest of the Premiership games off camera and we'll get the end of season review done. And then we'll look and see what's available in the job market. But that's a heck of a game to go out on. 4-2 in the Nedbank Cup final to SuperSport United. So we're back with a little bit of time to calm down since that final, which was one of the most insane games I've had in this save to date. That was an absolute nut game. And somehow we got the job done. We played 2 games in the Premiership off the back of that. Games that didn't really mean much, but we finished things off in good fashion. I think we've actually picked up a record points tally in the Premiership because of these 2 wins. First off, we took on the Black Leopards at home and picked up a 1-0 win. Percy Gordinho carrying on from what he left off in that Nedbank Cup final with. Nice ball played forward to him there from Mateza and slots it away very Malangu-like into the bottom left corner from that angle. And it was a game that was fairly even, but that nice goal from Gordinho sees us pick up a 1-0 win there. And off the back of that, we took on Mamelodi United away from home and finished our time here in Africa with a 3-1 win against these guys away from home. The first rotation got off to a flyer in this game at the 3-minute mark. Boyson makes his way in field. We were in the red for this game. A really nice finish into that bottom right corner to give us an early lead. Then at the 69-minute mark, nice. It was Boyson on the edge of the box finding Maher. His first shot block sends the goalkeeper the wrong way because of that. And then just as a tap-in on the rebound. So we were 2-0 up. And then shortly off the back of that, it was Gordinho yet again with a goal. He's really stepped up when coming off the bench. And that was a lovely little chip over the keeper. It was 3-0 at that stage. They did get one back in the 82nd minute. Here did Mamelodi United. It was a really nice strike there from Comatis. A really good goal for them there. And they really should have made it too. They missed a penalty in the 88th minute through Martin. And that did just allow us that little bit of a cushion so that we could hold out without too many nerves for a 3-1 win. But they definitely came at us late. did Maritzburg, but we finished the season on a very good note with a 3-1 win, albeit Maritzburg providing a bit sterner of an opposition than the stats there would suggest. So what that means for the Premier Division in terms of the table, we'll skip this playoff mini league because we don't really care about that. We've already secured the title. We get 82 points from 30 games, so we were only ever going to get 90 points anyway, so we've only dropped 8 points all season, a 76 goal difference, and we're 19 points clear of Bloemfontein Celtic in the end, who dropped off towards the end of the season, especially after that Champions League final as well. They started to drop some points. But that's a really comprehensive win for us in the league, and that goes alongside our other trophies in the Telkom Knockout, CAF Champions League, of course, and the Nedbank Cup, which you would have just seen earlier. The only trophy we lost out on was the Bloemfontein Celtic in that MTN 8 Cup final. But we do have the end of season review to get through, so we'll get through that. I have a few ideas about who should be getting awards, but we'll run through this anyway and see what the fans think as well as the board. So there's the 4 trophies that we did win. In terms of the signings that we made, we'll go down through these. Ladla is listed at the top in terms of average ratings. In terms of the player who probably had the most impact, Dubé was very good at centre-back for us. He paid a fair bit for him at 4.1 million, but he did a really good job for us. You can see he got 11 goals from centre-back, which is no mean feat, as well as 2 assists. Zacharias Mamade was also a really good pickup for the amount of money that he cost. You can see how promising he's going to be. He's only 20 years old, 11 goals, 14 assists, and he only started 18 games and 15 off the bench. He was very good for us when we were able to use him. Was Zacharias Olivari is a good left-back option that we brought into the club. Most of these guys did a really good job who we did bring in. Lapo would have been nice in the Champions League, but unfortunately the way the registration rules worked, we couldn't have him in there. And then we get down to some of these Bloemfontein Celtic players that we pinched halfway through the season. Somehow Chris Dodolu has been given signing of the season. I don't know if they watched our game against Barocca because that was quite heavily onto him, but both of those guys came in from Bloemfontein, including Charles McKeesey, who really is like a 4th choice striker for us. They were all solid when we got the chance to use them, and then a few players out on loan or who didn't really do a lot. So look, on the whole, our transfers in were pretty good. Transfers out, Prince Chidu to Bloemfontein Celtic, so he was actually featuring in the Champions League final from memory. He had a really good season for them, so maybe we were wrong in letting him go. I can't remember how we let him go. It might have been a free one before we got here, actually, but he was quite good for them. And we keep going down players who were pretty decent, but didn't really have a place at the club with the talent that we had here. And we did loan out a fair few players, but players who we don't really need to worry about too much now, as they are all pretty young and won't be featuring, seeing as we're leaving. The season review, DStv Premiership, we ran through this before, really good performance. Drop points to Cape Town Spurs with a draw, and then a little bit of a blip in March that lost to Barocca and Mamelodi, but either side of that, our form was superb. So a really good campaign for us to win the league quite comfortably. The CAF Champions League, we really looked comfortable throughout most of this, to be honest. There was a few games there. Cape Town City did a good go at us a few times in the group, but on the whole, once we got to the knockout stages, we were pretty good. Once we got past the first league against the Nyemba, that was a little bit ropey, but off the back of that, really good. And in the group stage and the qualifiers, we also looked pretty dang good. Telkom Knockout, another competition where we got through it fairly comfortably. That Cape Town City final, from memory, I think the scoreline made it look a bit closer than it was, but either way, a good win for us there. Nedbank Cup, we had a fair bit of luck in this one with some tired bodies towards the end of the campaign with those last 3 results, 1-0 against Black Leopards and then the extra time wins against Chippa United and the final you saw today, which was just ridiculous. And our only real failure of the season, although the board only expected us to reach the final, was when we lost the MTN 8-2 Bloemfontein Celtic. So a very successful year here at SuperSport United, 4 out of 5 trophies, including the all-important Champions League for this Hexagon Challenge. Our biggest win was the first game we showed you guys when we joined the club, 13-0 over the Buffa Buffa Warriors in a Champions League qualifier. That's when we started doing counting stuff and a bit of whistling in the background. That was an interesting episode after introducing you guys to the squad. The match to remember was in the MTN 8 against Cape Town City. Not sure if I remember that one too much myself, but whatever. And goal of the season was in the Nedbank Cup against the Golden Arrows, and it was for Welcome Boyson in the 44th minute. And here it is, Apollos making his way forward in the rain. Looks like he's going to find Boyson just outside the box and thunders one into the top right corner. To be fair, it's very Paul Pogba-ish from yesterday morning, my time when I'm filming this anyway, in the France-Switzerland game. Didn't work out too well for him, but a really nice finish from Boyson there, getting a hat-trick in that game. That was our goal of the season. Finance-wise, I brought this up earlier. Club not in a great state, but look, on the whole, most of these things have gone up, and the ones that have gone down haven't gone down by much, if at all, in terms of sponsorship. So, yeah, not too sure how the club's lost money this year and ended up in such a bad state, especially competition prize money-wise. We've made about an extra €3.5 million compared to what they did last season, but somehow they've found a way to spend that. Malangu, Mateza, Mokawina, Boyson, and I take it that's Kenny Mahura. I think so in terms of the best shirt sellers. He's my lock-in for player of the season. I don't think anyone can argue with that. He was so good both creatively and finishing-wise. Our best 11 for the season. Now, this is interesting. We'll work from the back. Gunga in goal with Mateza, Mahua, Dube, and Mofokeng. To be fair, that was our back five for most of the Champions League. It was only late on after that second registration window that we did bring Olivares in for Mateza, but they've gone for Mateza over him. Our midfield is very interesting. They've got Farrow as the CDM over Mokawena, but otherwise they've got the other two players there in Kubeka and Walters. I thought Mokawena was actually pretty good for us, the South African international, but they've chosen Fallow, I suppose, based on ratings. You look at his stats and not sure about that, but hey, that's what they've seen. And our front three, they've got Mahua and Malangu up there, and they've actually chucked Mamade in. I suppose Welcome Boyson was injured for a little while from memory, but another interesting one. But Mamade did certainly provide some really good impact in the games he played and might even be the ready-made replacement for Kenny Mahua when he leaves at the end of the season. Malangu up front, no question about that, with 38 goals. Absolute stud, in Kenny Mahua with 32 assists and 17 goals. Them alongside, whether it was Mamade or Boyson, it was a lethal front three for us, which was lovely to have. The awards that we won, we've got a couple of player manager of the months from our time in the league here in South Africa. The fans player of the season, as we suspected, Kenny Mahua, just too good a stats to ignore. Young player of the season, Malangu. 24-year-old player of the season, or young player of the season. That interesting signing of the season, Costi Christodoulou. Not sure about that. Get off the alcohol, guys. Goal of the season was Boyson. We've seen that. Top goal scorer, Malangu with 38. Most assists, Mahua with 32. Most player of the matches was Malangu with 9. Highest average rating, Mahua with an 8.0, which is insane. And the most passes completed per 90 was Tulani Walters. Then we got the general club records. Malangu, Gordinho's amongst them. Most goals by a player in a match for Malangu. In a league match as well. Most assists by a player in a season for Mahua. And the highest transfer fee paid as well. So we sort of splashed the cash with the 3.5 million euros up front for Club Dube. But to be fair, he was very good for us. But a really successful season for us here. And we'll go to the competition awards as well. The Inter-Club Player of the Year in Africa, Malangu, as well as the African Striker of the Year, and the Super 8 Last Man Standing, which I'm pretty sure is the NTN8, went to Kenny Mahua. So good to see him pick up a competition award as well. But really good year, 4 trophies, superb season, and that is how we're going to finish things off here at SuperSport United. There's the best 11 somewhere around here, I'm pretty sure. And there it is. You can see there's Gunga, Mahua, Mateza. In the defence, you got Walters and Apollos. In the midfield, Boyson's there, along with Malangu. We won't go too in-depth into this because only one season at the club, and I don't know how much of an impact we had with those, but Daldo Mahua was put into the first 11, as was Welcome Boyson. So good to see some of our guys making their way into that team, but we get our way through all the game. We've got another award, which is nice. A couple of Manager of the Month inbox items, so we've picked up another one. That's something to go alongside our profile. We'll just check and see what it looks like before we resign from this job. It's still at 4 stars, but that's essentially what it was when we left PSG anyway, so it hasn't gone down, and we continue to pick up trophies, which will only help us out for the rest of this save. So we're going to resign from the job. I see that we can resign immediately or end of club season. I suppose that's because the promotion playoff sort of league, mini league thing still going on. I think we'll just do it immediately just for the sake of this and see what we can look at in terms of jobs available. You can see who's favourite to take our job. It is the Black Leopards coach, and to be fair, the Black Leopards were up there for a fair while this season, which wasn't a bad effort from them. So I guess I endorse that move, but we'll have a look at the job centre and see what's available now. Unfortunately, I've said this a few times in the save, I can't turn off certain countries and leagues because it gets rid of the MLS. And because we actually still need the MLS, or could do, because of North America, I don't want to do that. So a lot of these we don't really care about because of the regions. All that's left for us now are Asia and North America. So that really limits the countries here that we need to look at. You can see early doors, DL Pro in China is a club that's available. They're halfway through the season, more or less, and they're in the relegation zone, quite far down, I'd expect, in the season preview. So we can be really picky about this. It might be a wee while until we get our next job. We're on the 1st of June now. If no good jobs come up, I am not in a hurry. I want a really good job where we can more or less get straight back into the Champions League action. That would be the ideal scenario. There's a few Liga MX clubs available. Cruz Azul, Laguna, and Monterrey. We'll just have a look at how these guys are going. So the table has finished for the season, and more or less all of those guys are not going to be making their way through to the Champions League. If we just have a look at what happened in the first half of the season, and yeah, they probably won't. Have a quick look at the season preview. Obviously, Monterrey will be fairly up there, but maybe just not quite good enough for us. I know they're a pretty big club in Mexico, but if we're going to go to Mexico, I really would like Club America to pop up. They are a club that gave us a few good players when we were at Monaco, the likes of Gabriel Rodriguez. They're a club I really like the look of. That's the club which will be the ideal in North America. We'll see if it comes up, but I think Monterrey at the moment, without Champions League football next season, look a little bit of too much of a step down for us, a little bit below our level for lack of a better term, and the other two teams aren't really as good as them either. So I think we won't be going for any of those. We keep making our way down, and at the moment, that is really it. So I think we're going to play a pretty patient game off camera, and it might take me a few days to actually sort out where our new club will be, but hopefully by that time that the next episode is due to come up, we will have that sorted out for you guys. So that does it for today's episode and our time here in Africa. I hope you really enjoyed our time here at SuperSport United. Another one and done, but it was a very successful one. If you enjoyed the episode and Africa in general, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on today's video, and if you want to keep up to date with this Hexagon challenge and see where we end up in hopefully tomorrow's episode, and also hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. But until I see you from either North America or Asia, it's got to be one of those two, because that's all that's left in this Hexagon challenge. Thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.